So now I'm updating the Yaesu Fusion's firmware. So it was kind of surprising because it took quite a bit of work just to get the unit ready for the firmware upgrade, which is fine, but I wasn't expecting that. So basically, here's a manual. You have to open up the repeater's case, open the case out. You could actually just slide the case out, if you will, and then you will find this RX unit. It's a little black box inside the repeater. There's a switch that you need to push toward the boot position, and then once you do that, you basically hook it up, connect your PC to the ACC port through the SCU20 cable, and run the application. So right now it's at 75%. And let's go here. The repeater is running. It's in boot mode. It's running, but there's nothing going on in front of these, in front of the display. That's normal. The cooling fan runs. So while that's happening, let's go back to our PC. So it looks like the firmware update is complete. Let's hit OK. It says that, which I will do right now. Anyways, we'll talk soon. So we are in front of our Yaesu System Fusion repeater. Earlier on I had set it up with the frequency coordination for my setup, but what I'd like to do is actually walk you through the process of setting up the menus, the features, the options, etc. It's actually very easy. It's not as bad as it sounds. Yaesu's done a phenomenal job of keeping the setup process really simple. So to show you how to do that, let me go back to factory defaults. So to do that, let's go to the power switch and turn it off. And now let's turn it back on by pressing the setup switch. This is a push button style switch. Hold it down and then push on the power button. And then wait till it comes back up and release the switch. Let's click on the setup menu button. Let's go into the function menu. And now if you look at the function menu button, so let's click on that. Okay. And now you see this option that says factory reset. Let's select OK. And now the system has reset itself to factory defaults. It'll reboot right now with the factory default settings. Now when you get your own System Fusion repeater, the first time you power it up, this is where you will land. It's a screen where you will set up the uplink and downlink frequency coordination that was given to you or your club, and then you basically set it up from this point on. So the way you do that is you got your uplink and downlink. Now when you say uplink, it's the uplink to the repeater. Whatever that frequency is you're using to uplink, that's a frequency you got to plug in right here. So you click on that uplink, it brings up to this keypad. So my frequency coordinations uplink is 447175. For the downlink, it's 442175. So now you're set up with the frequency. Now let's go to the TX power. Right now the TX power is set up to high. I'm going to change that for now to go to low, just while we are setting it up, and we're not quite ready yet. Then let's click on the function key again. You will be brought up to this screen where you are presented with options to select signaling, your squelch settings, your ID settings, etc. So let's walk through one by one. When you go to signaling, in my case it's tone squelch, frequency 400 Hz. So I won't change that because that's exactly what I need. Click on the back button. If you need to change it, if you need to change the squelch, first of all highlight what type of signaling your system requires. In my case it's tone squelch, but some require DCS. You select on DCS and that highlights, and then you change the values. In my case it's tone squelch. Let's select that, and it's currently is 100 Hz. If you want to change that to whatever, you push on this arrow up and down. I'll leave it at 100. I'm happy with that. Click on back. Now we're back to the options menu. Let's go to DSQ code. In my case I won't have a need for it, so I'm going to leave it as off. There's a rag chew going on in your conferencing. 3 minutes is when the speaker gets timed out or disconnected from the conversation. That helps the repeater from getting overheated. It gives the opportunity for other listeners and audience to participate in the conference. Let's go to ID announce. Here's where you say, hey, how many, once every 3 minutes announce the repeater's ID, and I say that I select that by pressing on the announce button. I want it to announce using CW. Announce level is high. That's a volume level, that is. So high volume, low volume, or mid volume, and that's the CW speed, or 20 words per minute speed. We'll leave that as default. Let's go back to ID announce. I want it to announce it every 3 minutes instead of every 10 minutes. So let's leave that as is, as at 3 minutes, and go back. Now let's go to the squelch option. There are two options here, as you can tell: reception off, transmission off, squelch values. Let's select that. In my case, the squelch has to meet the 100 Hz tone squelch, so I'll leave that as tone for reception, and same thing for transmission. You can toggle that to DCS. In my case it's tone, so I'll change it back to tone and hit back. Mode and remote, you wouldn't have to touch this actually. Remote is when you are controlling this repeater remotely. In my case I'm not, so I will leave that as off. And TX inhibit is when you want to not activate the TX, the transmission circuitry in the repeater. Let's go back. Let's go to ID set. This is where you will set up your call sign. In my case it's N0AGI /R and enter. We got each of these menu options set up. We set up the transmission power to low for now. If you look at the squelch section, you see that the R and T are now color coded to green, which means that you've set them both up to tone. If you had set them up to DCS, you would see that here. Let's go back, and now we're all set to go. So when you boot up your system, this is a screen you will land on. Basically, there are two sections to this main screen: the reception and the transmission. The way the system is set up right now is auto mode. It's currently in FM mode, but the fact that it is in auto mode makes sure that the system modifies the reception circuitry based on who's calling in. So if I were to be calling in using an analog radio, it'll receive in the FM mode automatically. And if I were to be calling with a digital mode with my, let's say, Yaesu FT1D, it'll automatically change it to normal. Or if I were to be calling it with a VW mode, it'll change it to voice wide. So the typical setting for this repeater is to leave it in auto mode and let it figure out which mode to engage depending on who's calling in. The other option is fixed, which means you're asking the system to receive in one particular mode, and that's fixed and static. So you could select FM or normal, but I would prefer setting it up to auto. On the transmission side, we will always transmit in analog mode because analog is a common denominator across the world. So while I might receive in digital mode when I call in with a digital radio, I will always want to transmit in analog mode. So that's what fixed means in this section of the transmission. So I think with that we are set to go. So let's give it a shot. I have here with me a VX8R. This is a pretty cool handset from Yaesu. Let's turn it on. I have set it up to 442175, and when I key in with a push to talk, it goes to 447175. Okay, so let's give that a shot. I'm gonna see if I can grab both of these together. So I'm gonna key in and watch the RX and the TX. When I key in, the RX has turned green, meaning it's receiving, and it's also in transmit mode. As I speak, it's transmitting out through the transmit circuitry in the radio. So looks like we are in business. Everything is good to go. We'll talk soon.